Milo disappeared without a trace. Lily searched everywhere, but the real danger was closer than she knew. Only Rex could sense it, but could he save them in time? Maplewood Lane was one of those peaceful American suburban streets where life moved slowly and predictably. Neatly trimmed lawns stretched on both sides of the road. American flags fluttered gently on porches, and kids rode their bikes until sunset. It was the kind of neighborhood where people waved, smiled, and believed nothing bad ever really happened. At the corner house lived Ethan Miller, a quiet man in his early 40s. Most neighbors knew him as polite but reserved. Few knew his past, that he was once a canine handler for the police. His closest companion was his German shepherd, Rex. Rex was large, powerful, and intimidating at first glance. His sharp eyes missed nothing, and even in retirement, his posture spoke of discipline and duty. People respected him, but they kept their distance. Next door lived the Carter family, cheerful and warm. Their daughter, Lily, was 10 years old, curious, imaginative, and full of questions. She had one best friend she trusted more than anyone else, her cat, Milo. Milo was small, gray and white, clever and surprisingly bold. He followed Lily everywhere, sitting on her backpack, her windowsill, or her shoulder like a guard. No one expected these two worlds to meet. One afternoon, Lily was drawing with sidewalk chalk near her driveway while Milo explored nearby. Without warning, Milo wandered toward Rex's yard. Ethan noticed immediately and stood up from his porch chair, tense. Rex rose slowly, ears alert, muscles tightening. Lily froze. Milo stepped onto the grass and looked up at Rex, unafraid. For a long moment, the street felt silent. Then Rex did something no one expected. He sat down. Instead of barking or lunging, Rex simply watched. Milo flicked his tail and walked closer, sniffing the air. Rex lowered his head, careful and calm. Lily slowly approached, heart pounding. When Rex didn't move, she smiled and reached out. Rex allowed her hand to touch his head. From that moment, something changed. Days turned into weeks and a routine formed. After school, Lily would come over, Rex would walk beside her like a protector, and Milo would weave between them, chasing leaves or shadows. Rex learned Milo's playful tricks. Milo learned Rex's boundaries, and Lily became the bridge between them. Neighbors stopped to watch, amazed by the bond. A former police dog, a little girl, and a cat, laughing, playing, trusting each other completely. But Rex noticed things others didn't. He watched the street longer than before. He listened harder at night. And whenever Milo wandered too far, his ears would stiffen, his body tense, like he was sensing something coming, something no one else could see. And one day, Milo didn't come back. The next afternoon began like any other on Maplewood Lane. The sun was warm, birds chirped, and Lily rushed home from school, backpack bouncing against her shoulders. The moment she reached her driveway, she smiled and called out, "Milo!" No soft meow answered. She checked the porch, nothing. She walked to the backyard, then the side yard, calling his name louder each time. Still nothing. A strange knot formed in her stomach. By the time Lily reached Rex's yard, her smile had faded. Rex was already there, standing near the fence, completely still. His ears were stiff, his head lowered, nose close to the ground. This wasn't how Rex usually greeted her. He didn't wag his tail, he didn't come forward. "Rex," Lily whispered. Ethan stepped out onto the porch, noticing the tension instantly. Rex let out a low, uneasy sound, not a growl, not a bark, but something in between. Ethan recognized it immediately. Rex was tracking. Lily's heart began to race. "Milo's gone," she said, her voice shaking.
Within minutes, the Carters were outside. Neighbors joined in. Flashlights appeared even though it was still daylight. People checked garages, sheds, trees, storm drains. Lily went door to door, tears streaming down her face, clutching Milo's favorite toy. Rex pulled gently at his leash, nose glued to the ground, moving with purpose. Ethan followed him past the yards, down the sidewalk, and toward the edge of the neighborhood, toward a place Rex had never gone before, the old construction zone. It was fenced off, quiet, and mostly forgotten. Half-built houses stood like skeletons. Broken boards, deep pits, and loose wires littered the area. Ethan hesitated. "Rex, easy," he said. Rex stopped suddenly and sniffed the air hard. He let out a sharp bark, short, urgent. Lily ran closer. "He's here, isn't he?" Rex pulled again, stronger this time. Ethan unclipped the leash. Rex sprinted forward. He led them past the fence, around a pile of debris, and straight toward a dark drainage tunnel hidden beneath concrete slabs. The air smelled damp and metallic. Lily felt fear crawl up her spine. "Milo?" she cried. No answer. Rex lowered himself and crawled halfway into the tunnel, barking sharply into the darkness. Then he froze. Ethan's face went pale. Because Rex wasn't barking anymore. He was whining. And from deep inside the tunnel, something moved, slowly, scraping against the concrete. Lily grabbed Ethan's arm. That was when Rex backed out suddenly, eyes wide, fur raised. Whatever was in there, it wasn't just a lost cat.
The sound from inside the tunnel echoed again, low, rough, and unmistakably alive. Lily's breath caught in her throat. Ethan stepped forward, instinctively placing himself between her and the darkness. Rex stood rigid, teeth slightly bared, but he didn't attack. That alone told Ethan something was wrong. This wasn't a threat Rex could fight. "Lily, stay back," Ethan said quietly. But Lily couldn't move. "Milo's in there," she whispered. "I know he is." Rex paced once, twice, then lowered his body again, peering into the tunnel. His ears twitched, as if listening to something deeper than sound, something only he could sense. Slowly, carefully, he crawled forward again. The tunnel stretched farther than it looked. Water dripped from the ceiling. The air was cold and thick. Ethan followed close behind with a flashlight, heart pounding. The beam revealed scratch marks along the concrete walls, fresh. "Milo did that," Lily said, her voice trembling. Suddenly the light caught movement. Milo was there. He was pressed against the far wall, fur dirty, eyes wide with fear, but alive. Lily let out a sob of relief and tried to rush forward, but Ethan stopped her. "Wait." Between Milo and the tunnel exit lay something else, a heavy metal trap, rusted, jagged, and half buried under debris. One of its sharp teeth had snapped shut just inches from Milo's tail. Another step, and he would have been badly injured or worse. Rex growled low, not at Milo, but at the trap. Ethan's stomach twisted. Someone put this here. This wasn't an accident. The construction site was supposed to be sealed, yet there it was, a trap meant to catch animals, maybe even bigger ones. Rex carefully moved forward, nudging the trap with his nose, testing it. It snapped shut instantly, the sound echoing violently through the tunnel. Lily gasped. "That could have killed him," she whispered. But Milo wasn't trapped. Rex had blocked his path earlier. Ethan realized the truth in that moment. Rex hadn't just tracked Milo, he had intercepted him, guided him, kept him from walking straight into danger. Rex backed away slowly, creating space. Ethan moved in and gently lifted Milo into his arms. Milo didn't struggle. He pressed into Ethan's chest, shaking. When they emerged from the tunnel, the evening sky had darkened. Neighbors waited anxiously. Lily ran forward and wrapped her arms around Milo, crying openly.
The relief was overwhelming, but Rex didn't celebrate. He stood near the tunnel entrance, staring back into the darkness, because he could still smell it. More traps, more danger, and somewhere nearby, the person who put them there. Rex's ears flattened as distant footsteps echoed beyond the construction site fence. Someone was still out there, and Rex knew this story wasn't over yet.
Night had settled over Maplewood Lane, but no one was sleeping. Police lights washed the quiet street in shades of red and blue as officers cordoned off the construction site. Ethan stood near Lily and her parents, Milo wrapped tightly in Lily's arms. The cat was safe, but the fear of what could have happened still lingered in everyone's chest. Rex, however, remained focused. His body was tense, head lowered, eyes locked on the dark edge of the construction zone. The smell of metal, oil, and unfamiliar footsteps still hung in the air. Ethan noticed it immediately. Rex wasn't done working. An officer approached. "You said your dog reacted to something down there?" Ethan nodded. "Those traps weren't old. Someone set them recently." As if on cue, Rex pulled forward, letting out a sharp bark toward the back of the site. The sound cut through the night, commanding attention. Without waiting, Rex took off, sprinting along the fence line. "Rex!" Ethan shouted, but his voice carried no panic. This was what Rex had been trained for. Officers followed as Rex led them toward a partially built house at the far end of the site. A shadow moved near the structure. Then footsteps, fast and panicked. "Stop! Police!" an officer yelled. The figure ran. Rex closed the distance in seconds. He didn't attack, he blocked the path, barking fiercely, forcing the man to trip and fall. Officers rushed in, handcuffs snapping shut moments later. The man confessed quickly. He was an unlicensed scavenger, setting traps to catch animals he planned to sell illegally. He never expected a child's cat or a retired police dog. When it was over, Rex returned calmly to Ethan's side, tail low, eyes steady. The job was done. Lily approached slowly, holding Milo. She knelt in front of Rex and hugged his thick neck tightly. Rex stayed still, gently placing his head against her shoulder. "You saved him," she whispered. Ethan watched, his chest heavy with pride. Rex had never truly retired. He had simply been waiting for the right moment to protect again. The next morning, Maplewood Lane felt different. Neighbors stopped to pet Rex. Kids waved. Someone tied a blue ribbon around his collar. Lily made a hand-drawn sign that read, "Thank you, Rex, our hero." Rex lay in the sun, Milo curled safely beside him, Lily reading nearby. Peace had returned. But Rex remained alert, because guardians don't stop being guardians. They just stay ready. Weeks passed, but the story of Rex, Lily, and Milo didn't fade from Maplewood Lane. It settled into it, becoming part of the neighborhood's soul. The construction site was sealed for good, warning signs posted, fences reinforced. Parents slept easier. Children played a little closer to home. And Rex? Rex was no longer just the retired police dog at the corner house. He was a legend. Lily often visited after school, though things were quieter now. No frantic searching, no fear, just peaceful afternoons. She'd sit on the porch steps doing homework while Milo lounged beside Rex, sometimes even daring to nap against his massive paw. Rex tolerated it with the patience of a soldier who had seen far worse than a fearless cat. But Ethan noticed something changing. Rex had slowed down, not in spirit. His eyes were still sharp, his senses alert, but in body. His steps were heavier. He rested more. The years of service were catching up with him. One evening, as the sky burned orange and purple, Ethan sat beside Lily on the porch. "Rex is getting old, isn't he?" she asked softly. Ethan nodded.
Yeah, but he's lived a good life." Lily looked down at Milo, then back at Rex. "He didn't just save Milo. He saved all of us." That night, a storm rolled in, thunder cracking, rain pouring hard. Milo panicked and hid under the couch. Lily ran next door, worried. Ethan opened the door before she even knocked. Rex was already awake. The power flickered, a loud crack of thunder shook the house, and then a scream echoed from down the street. A child. Without hesitation, Rex moved. Despite his age, despite the pain in his joints, Rex ran into the storm one last time. He led Ethan and the neighbors to a fallen tree blocking the road. Beneath it, a boy was trapped, terrified, but alive. Rex stood guard until help arrived. By morning, Rex lay resting, exhausted, but peaceful. His work, his purpose, was complete. Days later, Maplewood Lane gathered quietly as Ethan aeried Rex beneath the old oak tree in the yard he had protected for so long. Lily placed Milo's favorite ribbon beside the marker. The stone read, "Rex, protector, friend, hero." Years later, Lily, now grown, would tell the story to others, about a German shepherd who never stopped being a guardian, about a cat who trusted the wrong path, about how love, loyalty, and courage can come in the most unexpected forms. And sometimes, if you walked down Maplewood Lane at sunset, people swore they still felt watched over, not in fear, but in safety, because some guardians never really leave. They just watch quietly, forever. Pause.